Alright gang, so as you can see now, have a look at this. We've got a bit of a storm front moving in. You can see there the bunker fuel stripe, which is not moving at all while the cloud moves past it. So what we've got here, what this is all about, in my opinion, is the United Nations Climate Action Plan. So resilient cities, this is what it's all about. To have total control, they need us all in the one place. They need 100% of the world's population living on 5% or less of the world's land. Okay, that's how they get total control. So just have a look at this stripe here. So the fires, the chemtrailing, everything is about getting us into these resilient cities. So what they've done today is, you can see we've got a lot of natural cloud now. We've got forecast, I shot that first video at just after 5 AM this morning. Now we're at about 9 o'clock AM. Our weather's forecast for a chance of an afternoon thunderstorm. So what they've done is, all that bunker fuel that was here has now been pushed inland, okay, because that's where they don't want it to rain. So they've pushed all that bunker fuel inland so they can ionise all that area outside inland of the metro area, and so the rain will fall on us in the metro area. Okay, so that stops the rain from getting to the farmers and the people living in the rural areas, which ultimately forces them into the smart cities. So everything, burning the bushland, that's to get people out of the bush and into the smart cities. The United Nations putting laws through that supersede our own country's laws, that say this area is now a carbon neutral zoned area, all part of getting the farmers off their land. They zone areas carbon neutral. If you want to look up something on this, this has been going for a long time. Kevin Rudd sold us right out, that criminal. Kevin 07, you sold us out. He, sorry, it's hard for me to think today, I've got a wicked head cold. He started this all. Look up Spencer Land Battle. Spencer, S-P-E-N-C-E-R, Spencer Land Battle. He put a hammock up on a pole out front of Parliament for 40 days on a hunger strike. Kevin Rudd couldn't give a flying stuff. They rezoned all the area that he farmed in carbon neutral. They cut off his water and told him you can't even dig a hole, you can't cut down a tree, you can't move a rock, you can't do anything. Offered them no buyback for their land whatsoever. Okay, this has been happening now for at least 12 years that I know of. So a lot of those guys ended up committing suicide, shooting themselves in the head, driving their car into trees. And all of this is to get us into these smart cities, alright? It's just that simple. That's their full control. Once we are all in the same location, we can be monitored easily. We can be targeted easily. So that's what they've done here this morning. They've put all this bunker fuel. They've sent it inland so they can charge up the atmosphere and ionise that area of the atmosphere while they keep the rain, the storm front that's coming in. They'll keep that over the metro area, and you can see big storm clouds. Okay, so we were due some rain, and that rain probably, some of it would have made it inland, and they can't have that. They cannot have that. So that's what this is all about. This is what they're doing. Yeah, they're trying to kill a lot of us off too, but ultimately what they want is a large workforce living in the one area where we can be fully controlled. It's just that simple. This is all perpetrated by the United Nations. Okay, they make absolutely no secret of the fact that they want us in sustainable cities, sustainable future, you know, responsible land management, all this sort of stuff. Basically what they want to do is get everyone out of this rural land, and then you watch, they'll make it rain all right. They'll turn that into a bloody tropical rainforest, that desert, once they've got back all the land. So that's what they're doing. That's what it's all about. If you're not sure, that's it. Alright, they want us in these resilient cities. So what can we do to stop it? Well, for starters, we need to move out of the cities, we need to move out of the suburbs, yeah? We need to find like-minded people and start forming communities. Communities where, just like other races do, we've seen it before. I won't mention any names, I don't want to get done for hate speech, but we've let a heap of certain races into our country. And then they've all decided that they'll take over and live in the same suburbs. Then what happens when it's time for a local council vote? They've got the numbers. Okay, this is what we need to do. We need to get into rural areas. We need to get into the local council at ground level. And once there's a lot of us there, we'll have the numbers. We can vote our own candidate, our own choice in, and then we can have some control in our local area at least. This is what's going to happen. There's going to be a line drawn, okay? It's going to come down to those who can't give up their technology and those who are willing to have a free life. Because what will happen is the power will get cut off, things like that will happen. You've got to be prepared to withdraw completely from the smart technology in the smart cities. You've got to be prepared to have no communication with what goes in those smart cities. We have to learn how to farm our own stuff and live independently without even electricity, because this is what it's going to come to. Only those who are fully committed to doing that will survive what's coming, and it has to start happening now. We have to start getting into these rural areas. We need to find each other, find an area that we can all agree on is good, and just head there. It's that simple. If we don't unite outside of online, if we don't unite in real life and start joining together and forming actual communities where we live, you know, in the same towns, we don't have a chance as individuals. So that's where we're at, gang. Leave me your thoughts in the comments.